Hey, what's up? I'm Norris and welcome back to another sew along. Today we'll be doing the order construction for my new Know Me pattern 2023. And today we'll be doing view C, the short. Now, because this is not a learn to sew video, if you need further instructions, I will advise you to go to sewitacademy.com where you get the first 5 courses for free if you sign up for the free trial. Do that, come back and follow along with me. Okay, so again, like I said, we'll be doing order of construction for this sew along, Know Me 2023, and we will be doing view C, which are the drop crotch shorts. Now I want to congratulate you for having the courage to make these pants. They're not your typical drop crotch design. So if you look at the back, you'll see all the body measurements. You want to align that up with the small, medium, large, extra large, and also double XL. And down here you'll get the finished garment measurement that includes a design and wearing ease. Okay, so now let's go through all the pattern pieces. You need pattern piece number 15, which is the front casing, and then you're going to cut it out on the fold here, and you're going to cut 1. You'll need pattern piece number 13, which is the pocket. You're going to cut 4 of these. Now, depending on how thick your fabric is, you might not want to cut 4 of these out of your fabric. You want to cut 2, and then you can use a thinner lining like I did here. Now this right here is going to go on the front, and then this right here will be the back pieces. Okay, so cut 4 of these out of fabric, or you can cut 2 out of fabric and 2 of lining, but just make sure the lining is still a knit. Next we have pattern piece number 14. Now this right here is your gusset. You want to cut 1 of these out of your fabric. Now remember, you want to mark every single thing you see, okay? Make sure you do all your markings for this piece. Pattern piece number 11, which is your front. You want to cut 2 of these out of your fabric. Pattern piece number 12, but this is your back. You want to cut 2 of these out of your fabric as well. Pattern piece number 16, your back casing. You want to cut 1 of these on the fold, and the fold is right here. Then last but not least, we have pattern piece number 17. This is your elastic guide. This is only to measure up against your elastic for you to cut how long your elastic is. Now once you cut all of your pattern pieces out of your fabric, we can begin sewing. Okay, so first things first, before we get started, you want to go ahead and take both of your front pieces, and we're going to stay stitch just to reinforce this corner here on your front piece. Stitch about 1 inch away from the dot, pivot, and then go about 1 inch down just to secure it. And then down here, we're going to start where your notch is, right here. You want to back stitch and then stitch all the way to the end, just so it won't stretch. So you want to stay stitch here. And then also you want to reinforce this corner on both of your front pieces. And then for your back piece, down here at the bottom, you want to start here and then stitch all the way up till you get to your 3 notches on both of your back pieces. Okay, so once you do that, you want to go ahead and grab both of your front pieces. You want to take your scissors. Now we're going to clip right into this corner here, but not through your stitching, just to that marking. Okay, just like that. Okay, so after we do that, we're going to take your front pieces and right sides facing. We're going to pin along here. Okay, so now head to the machine. We're going to stitch across here using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Do that, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, I went ahead and stitched the center front of the front pieces together. I finished the seam off with a serge, and I just pressed it to one side. And then now we're going to take our back pieces, our right sides facing. We're going to match them up at the inner leg here, and we're going to pin. Okay, so now we're going to head to the machine, and we're going to stitch on the inner leg here and then across here using 5/8 inch up in the seam allowance. Do that, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, the wrong side is faced up, and this is the back attached at the leg here. I'm just going to open it out now so we can attach our gusset. And I finished off the inner leg seam with a serge, and I just press it towards the back. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is you wanna take your gusset. Now for your gusset, you have 2 dots at the front, you have 1 notch towards the front, and then you have 3 notches towards the back. That's how you know how to lay it out, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're going to take those dots and we're going to match them up right sides facing. So just basically I'm gonna make it easy. So this is the back. So to do right side facing, I'm just gonna turn it up a bit so that right side is facing up. And then now the right side here matches up perfect. And then I'm going to align that dot right in the same place where the dot is here. And I'm going to pin. And then to get to the side, I'm just going to pivot it over. Then I'm going to pin here. Match up that 1 notch on the side. And then I'm going to match up that notch or dot. It could be a dot. I do all my dots as notches because it's just easier for me. And then I'm going to pin there. And then in the back, you want to align up your triple notch and then pin. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so let's head over to the machine. We're going to start on one side, stitch all the way through, and when we get to the front, we're going to stitch right where we get to our marking here, where that dot is, pivot, and then we're going to go across the front, then we're going to pivot again and go all the way down the other end. Okay, so let's head to the machine and stitch that down. Okay, so you want to back stitch at the beginning and also at the end. And then once we get to that dot there, we're going to lift your presser foot up, straighten everything out, and then we're going to stitch across. Okay, so I'm back from the machine. As you can see, I finished off this seam allowance here with a serge, and then I pressed it towards the front and back pieces, and then on the front side, I top stitched it a 1/4 inch away from that seam. Okay, so you can see them come together just a bit, and now what we're gonna do is go ahead and grab our pockets. Okay, so for our front pieces, I'm gonna move the back out the way for right now. So for the front, I'm going to use the lining pieces. I'm just going to line them up just like this. And I'm going to pin them. Match the notch. And then we're going to stitch both sides down from the top to the bottom of the pocket right here using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, okay? Only 3/8 of an inch, not 5/8 right now. So let's go ahead and do the back too. We can do all of them at the same time. Okay, so we're gonna head to the machine. We're gonna do the back as well using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Do that, come back and we'll continue. Okay, as you can see, I'm back from the machine. I have my back pocket on my back, then I have the front lining ones here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to use one side at a time. So we're going to line up that outside seam. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start at the top. We're gonna stitch using 5/8 of an inch from the edge of the front and back piece. Okay, so stitch 5/8 of an inch, back stitch, cut your threads at your dot, and then we're gonna move to our other dot. You won't see dots here because I put notches instead of dots, but you want to start back stitch here and go all the way down to the hem, back stitch and cut your threads. Okay, so we're gonna leave the portion open for our pocket entrance. So once again, start here, back stitch at your first dot or your marking, whatever marking you made, cut your thread, start back here and go all the way down. Now we're gonna do that for the front and back. You do not want to do this just yet, okay? So do that, come back and we'll continue. Okay, so I'm back from the machine. As you know, I stitched here, 5/8 of an inch, cut my threads and then started here all the way down. And then now what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to turn it right side out. Now, I'm gonna start on one side now. So this is one of the side seams. So this is the front here, this is the back. You wanna take your back pocket and push it towards the back, and then your front pocket, push it towards the front right now. And then you'll get a little opening here in the center. And what you wanna do is you want to press that side seam. Down here at the bottom, you wanna press that seam open. So if you wanna finish your seams off serged like this, you can do that before you put this together, or you can do it like I did after I stitched it. Now, only working on the front. So we're gonna start on this side, we're gonna top stitch and then pivot a 1/4 inch away and then go down just the front side of the pocket opening. And then we're gonna go back to the seam in the center, okay? We're not gonna do anything for the back, just only for the front. We're gonna top stitch that. So just so we have everything straight, I'm just gonna pin a couple of times here so that pocket won't fold back. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the front on this side. So we just opening that pocket up just like this. Okay, so let's head to the machine once again. This is on the front. So we're gonna stitch out a 1/4 inch, and then we're gonna finish top stitching a 1/4 inch away from the opening, only on the front side, and then we're gonna pivot back into the side seam. Okay, so let's do that, come back and we'll continue. Okay, I'm back from the machine. As you can see right here, you see the top stitching on the front is just a 1/4 inch away from that opening. So now I'm gonna turn it right side out, wrong side out. Once again, and then that back side seam, we're just going to clip into it so we can leave that seam open. Now we're just going to line up that pocket bag. Should be 2 notches here. Okay, so now we're gonna head to the machine. We're going to stitch 5/8 of an inch all the way around, and we're going to stitch until we get to that side seam right here. Okay, so all the way around, coming right here, stopping right here at that side seam, and you want to pin and do the other side the same exact way, and you're free to serge this raw edge if you want. So do that, come back and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, I went ahead and did my pocket bag and then serged the seam. And then I took my pocket bag and placed it towards the front, not the back, but towards the front. And then I basted it to the top, okay? So now it looks just like this. Now for right now, I'm gonna put this to the side and we're gonna work on our front and back band, waistband. Now that we have our front and back band, you want to be sure to do your 2 buttonholes to the front for the drawstring. And also, just a note, I went ahead and put 2 squares, 1 on each side, for a little bit more durability for that buttonhole when it's going through this fleece. Okay, so now that we have the front, you want to take the back, and we're right sides facing. We're going to place it right over the front. And then we're going to pin So before we continue, I just want you to know that this calls for a 2.5 inch elastic. Right now I only have 2 inches. If you don't have 2.5 inches, you can do the same thing with the 2 inches. It's not going to be that much of a difference. You will still get a nice thick elastic band. Okay. So now we're going to head to the machine. I have 2 dots here, and make sure your 2 dots are on the opposite end of your 2 buttonholes. Okay. So you want to start at the edge, back stitch, and stop and cut your threads at that dot. And then you want to skip over to your other dot. You want to back stitch at the beginning and then stitch all the way to the end, back stitching at the end. Okay, so you don't have to do this for both sides. The instructions will tell you to do this on the left side only. You can do it on the right, you can do it on the left. Just make sure you don't do both. Okay, so do that, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine. I went ahead and press the side seams, and as you can see, one side I have that opening, and then the other side is pretty closed. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it wrong sides facing. So that opening should be on the inside, as you can see right here. And then you just want to make sure everything matches up and straight. Now you can go to the machine, you can base the raw edges together using a basting stitch, but I'm gonna just go ahead and pin mine to my shorts just like this. Okay, so now go ahead and grab your shorts, and this is the front. As you can see, you see the top stitching, and the pocket should be based towards the front. That's how you know in the front. All right, and if this right here was already done, you'll see the buttonholes facing you. So now what we're gonna do is just turn this upside down like that. The buttons holes are on the inside, and we're just going to slide this inside like this. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my pins. Now there's a notch for you to match up all 3 layers, your band and then also your shorts, and we can pin. Okay, now that we have it all pinned, we're going to head over to the machine, and we're going to stitch all the way around the waistband using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so do that, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and attached the waistband. I finished the seam off with a serge, and then right here, as you can see, we still have that opening. Also, I pressed that seam allowance down to get that nice look. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and take my elastic. I'll go ahead and pin it to a safety pin, just like this. And we're gonna go ahead and insert this to our band. And before that elastic on the other end go inside, you wanna just pin it to keep it out and then continue. Okay, once it's on the other end, we can go ahead to the machine, put them out, just pull them out just a little bit. And now you just want to go and just overlap it about a 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch, and just do a little zigzag stitch all the way up and down, or a straight stitch up and down a few times just to secure it, and then come back and we'll continue. Okay, so now that we got this zigzag together, we can go ahead and push it inside. Make sure that seam allowance is back inside. Okay, so now only thing I do is just hand stitch this, and you're done with the waistband. And then for your drawstring, what I do is I just go ahead and take the edge so it won't fray, and then put it onto a safety pin, and I just push it inside one buttonhole and then come out the other buttonhole, the same exact way we did the elastic. Okay, so go ahead and do that and we'll continue. Okay, so after you put your drawstring in, you can go ahead and make a knot and then cut off the extra, or you can use the stoppers the plastic or metal stoppers that you can put on to adjust it. And then last but not least, once again, you want to go ahead and stitch, hand stitch that opening here on your waistband, and then finish up your hem allowance. And after you do all of that, you're all done. All right, congratulations, you're all done. Now be sure to tag and also follow me at Norris Dancer Forward on all socials. See you in the next one.